ran a trafficking for freak offs, it will be others involved.
Yes.
Like if you ever ran a train with Diddy, you're probably going to jail.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people were saying, that, you know, that's possibly on those cameras because he had cameras in the crib.
Man.
So people are thinking that maybe there'll be other people involved.
If you ever been butt anywhere with Diddy or half with Diddy, and there was some women around or some men around that he told you were part of the party, you probably going to jail.
Half button. All right.
If you possibly on any of those tapes, like Envy just said,
Moving.
that they seized from that house,
That's right.
you're probably going to jail when they start throwing that word racketeering around.
But we'll see what happens.
Hell, if you walked in a room and saw Diddy in there smashing Carl Winslow, allegedly.
What?
If Diddy flew Carl out, you might be going to jail.
So it looks like this Diddy mess is extending to everybody because of these new reports that are seemingly coming out by the hour are anything to go by. Beyonce is panicking because she doesn't know what will be revealed, and there have been reports that she has begun separating assets from her husband Sean Carter, aka Jay-Z. Child, now it makes sense why she's been popping out all these albums and launching all of these businesses at once, and why she had that massive tour last year where she performed like the rent was due, honey. Even Little Blue was out there earning her allowance, and the twins may have been in the back on lights and sound. There has been widespread talk that Jay-Z is going to be next when the feds are done with Diddy, and Mr. Carter better pay attention because Cat Williams did say back at the top of the year that this would be the year of truth, and he ain't never lied. Y'all see all of these top execs dropping their titles like Bad Habits, or maybe dropping the titles because of their bad habits, allegedly. Politicians aren't exempt either. The feds even indicted New York City's Mayor Adams on charges of bribery and fraud. That is huge because it's the first time in New York's history that a city mayor has been indicted. Got a funny feeling and a sneaky suspicion that there are several more celebs out here that are going to be next. And I know you heard that Usher has wiped his 7,000 tweets from the face of the internet, and even Jay-Z has cleared his IG and deleted every picture that he has with Diddy, as well as anything that may or may not have tied him to the Diddler's enterprise. Yikes. And if that's not telling, I don't know what is. It's like these celebs are trying to erase their public history with him. They're like, Diddy who? We don't know him.
Sorry to this man.
Even Meek Mills, of all people, Diddy's boo thing, is out here on social media publicly offering $100,000 to investigators to clear his name from anything having to do with Diddy. The streets are moving crazy right now, and that should tell you just how out of control things are for these celebrities, and they don't have the power to make it go away.
And do you feel the federal government will probably speak to Jay-Z in regards?
They already have.
Oh.
They talked to him before he made that Super Bowl announcement. Isn't that interesting? He was questioned by the feds before he made the Super Bowl announcement. Blink twice. Oh, this about to get fun for me.
Yeah. Let me
There's nothing like, have you ever seen what happens to a rat when it's trapped in a heated environment?
Oh, it'll eat through anything.
Claw eat its way through.
Now, I've been seeing some comments here and there that Diddy and Jay-Z aren't real friends, and Jay-Z doesn't move around with Diddy like that. But also, Jay-Z isn't stupid. He is very street smart. And wasn't Diddy the one who said that Jay-Z was the only one who could call him by his government name? So there's a chance that Jay knew exactly what shenanigans Diddy was up to since the 90s, and allegedly even participated in them. But he was smart enough to distance himself. And hopefully that happened before Diddy could get anything on him. Baby, no one wants to be seen around Diddy right now, especially not Jay-Z and Beyonce. And even 50 Cent noticed it and called Jay out. Quote, anybody seen Jay? LOL. Puff said the ninja ain't answering his phone, end quote. Word is, Jay-Z is not only meeting up with high-powered attorneys to make sure that whatever the feds plan to do with Diddy doesn't blow back on him, but also divorce attorneys. Quote, a twofer today for Jay-Z. He met with a defense attorney and a divorce attorney. Hashtag Sean Diddy Combs, hashtag Jay-Z, end quote. The feds have subpoenaed multiple companies doing business with Diddy, and they are going through everything with a fine-tooth comb to identify anyone involved in his racketeering. Even if you had a penny tied up with the Diddler's enterprise, they are coming hard at you. And that's why Jay-Z, Beyonce, Rick Ross, Meek Mills are scared. And all of those high-powered CEOs stepped down in the same week that Diddy got arrested. Probably some something to do with the fact that Diddy has recorded high-profile people in uncompromising situations since the 90s. Child, talk about a blockbuster. Now, when it comes to Jay-Z, though, it's not just the shady business aspect. He's been accused of a lot of things over the years. Aaliyah's allegedly inappropriately messing with rapper Foxy Brown when she was underage, not to mention his illegitimate and unclaimed kids and grandkids out here, as well as his alleged mistress, Kathy White's passing. There's a lot, so it's gonna really be interesting to see the move that Jay makes next. But let's talk about this theory that's been circulating online. Allegedly, feds weren't grabbing stuff from Diddy's homes just to collect evidence. Oh no, baby, they were raiding the house to collect evidence and to allegedly destroy evidence on certain people. Diddy got tapes on everybody from politicians to businessmen and definitely his celebrity friends, and those tapes were his insurance to make sure that he remains protected and could climb the ladder if and whenever he wanted to. Now that the tapes are gone, Diddy has essentially been cut off by everyone he serves that were protecting him because he pissed them off. And now we're seeing everywhere that Diddy is about $140 million in debt. How's he in debt when just a few days ago Forbes was calling him a billionaire? But the thing is that there's a lot of fake billionaires running around out here, and there's a lot of people that we thought were billionaires, including Kylie Jenner, Kim K, and allegedly even Jay-Z, who are just marketers who are merely the faces of these brands and just getting paid very well. Quote, what's fascinating is that Diddy had to borrow $1.5 million from Tommy Mottola to buy one of his houses and took out 8 mortgages on 3 of his homes. I don't think he ever went past $100 million. It explains why he kept all of his artists publishing. He was a glorified promoter all of these years, end quote. Also, quote, if Diddy is a billionaire, why did he offer to put up his house and his mother's house to get a bond for $50 million? None of these celebs are billionaires. They're given that label to make it easier for them to mislead simple-minded, pocket-watching idlers, end quote. Remember when Jay-Z said that he was the owner of the Nets? The Black community always rallied around their own, especially when you think of how much we value Black excellence. So because of that, the Nets Barclays Center was built in Brooklyn, something that the execs at the Nets were not able to do for years. But once it was done, the real owners came out and revealed that Jay-Z wasn't even close to being the owner and only had about 0.69% stake in the whole thing. Now, while I did hear that 69 was a very good year, according to R&B singer Joe, that is some crazy work for Jay-Z to be lying about like that, allegedly. To keep the money flowing, Jay-Z owns small percentages in these businesses he works with, and you can bet that he and Diddy did some business together, and he has some money tied into whatever shady thing that the diddler was doing. So whatever's coming down the pipe for Diddy is allegedly gonna touch Jay-Z, and Beyonce ain't having none of it. There was talk that the two of them might get a divorce, but you never can tell. The Carters are too big of a brand, and they always give me a sense that they are a business marriage, and they're in this together forever. But B isn't gonna let anything affect their bag. B and J already keep their premarital assets separate, and now that issue's about to hit the fan, B is taking whatever is hers and keeping it far, far away from Jay-Z for as long as she can. But there are a couple of their assets that have naturally mingled over the years. But you know that Matthew and Tina are not gonna let Jay-Z mess up Beyonce's bag unless he wants Solange to renew her fingerprints on his face. If he's smart, he keeps security by elevators at all times. I'm just saying.
The reason why they're already living separate lives, and we may actually see one of the biggest divorces in Hollywood, is because Jay-Z is up next to be exposed. And it's only so much of these stories that Jay-Z can, he can pay off or he can block. He won't be able to stop this. And she knows it, and he knows it too. As far as who's gonna be the breakout victim / story, I don't know. Yeah, I might have to ask Jason Lee. I don't know. But I'm just letting you know that once that comes out and Jay-Z is exposed for his nefarious past, you're gonna see Beyonce divorce him. Okay, and she may or may not do an interview, but you're gonna their publicist is gonna release something. She's gonna say, oh, the Carters have been separated for some time. They built this beautiful life, blah 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 blah. Now, before all this happens, we may get another tour. We may get another album out of both of them. I don't know, because at the end of the day, they about their money first. They're gonna do what's best for business first. As far as Beyonce is concerned, do she love him? I mean, he's really all that she knows.
If the feds find enough in those tapes, business reports, and tax filings of Diddy to incriminate Jay, then he might just be subpoenaed to testify for or against Diddy. As usual, the fans had a lot to say. Quote, "You can't be married to a hardcore for this long and don't know anything about his doings," end quote. And another, quote, "Divorce is like a business move to protect their assets," end quote. But do you think Jay-Z is next in line to fall? Let's get the conversation going in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.